Raghav was a simple guy, living in a small town on the Rajasthan-Madhya Pradesh border. His life was quiet, mornings at the office, evenings back home, and nights watching TV with his parents. But his parents had only one concern. Raghav was now 32 years old and still unmarried. Like most parents, they felt that once their son had a stable job, it was time to get married and settle down. It wasn't that Raghav didn't want to marry, he just hadn't found the right girl yet. He had tried matrimonial sites, met several girls suggested by friends and relatives, but things never worked out. Sometimes the girl's lifestyle didn't match his. Sometimes her words made him feel they had no future together. Some would say they wouldn't do household work. Some said they didn't like kids. Others said they wouldn't live with his family. None of this felt right to Raghav. His parents had even asked relatives to keep an eye out. One relative suggested a girl, beautiful, humble, but an orphan. She lived a little outside their village. They felt she could be perfect for Raghav. At first, Raghav hesitated, but his mother insisted he should at least meet her once. Finally, Raghav agreed. He went to meet her in an old Havli-like house outside the village. The girl's name was Vaidehi. The moment Raghav saw her, his breath stopped. She was so beautiful, tall, dressed in a deep green sari, with her hair tied neatly in a bun, except for 2 strands that fell softly over her eyes. But what struck him most were her eyes, mysterious, as if they wanted to say something but never did. When her eyes met his, Raghav went blank, unable to think, speak, or move. Vaidehi smiled softly, greeted him, and spoke gently. After a short conversation, Raghav came down and told his mother, "She's calm, beautiful, just the kind of girl I wanted. I accept this proposal." His mother was shocked. Raghav, who usually questioned every girl thoroughly before deciding, had agreed within minutes, but the parents were overjoyed, since all they wanted was their son's marriage. Raghav insisted, "We will marry in 3 days." People asked why such hurry. He replied, "I don't know. I feel like I already know her somehow." 3 days later, they married in a temple with great celebration. As Raghav was about to apply sindoor, vermilion, on Vaidehi's forehead, she suddenly smiled strangely, almost as if she had been waiting for this exact moment. For a second, Raghav noticed her eyes turning pitch black. When he blinked, they looked normal again, and he dismissed it as his imagination. The ceremony was completed. After marriage, Vaidehi moved into Raghav's home. She was quiet, respectful, doing household chores, serving everyone, and then retreating silently to her room. Raghav was happy, telling everyone he was lucky to have her. But within a week, things started to change. One night, after locking his balcony door, Raghav went to sleep. In the morning, he found muddy, wet footprints leading from the balcony to his bedroom door. The prints were strange. Big toes were small, and the other toes were unusually long. Even more disturbing, one foot pointed forward, while the other was reversed. When Raghav asked Vaidehi about it, she simply said, "Water remembers everything," and walked away. Raghav also noticed she never slept before him. She would stand by the window, staring outside, whispering in some unknown language. Slowly, she became distant, forgetting salt in food, zoning out while holding tea, and avoiding intimacy with Raghav even after a month of marriage. One evening at dinner, she whispered into his ear, "What if you found out that your life was chosen by someone else? That this marriage was not your decision, but mine? That everything happening here is only by my will? What would you do?" Terrified, Raghav spent that night sleeping on the sofa outside. Around 3 a.m., he woke up shivering with cold. Looking towards his room, he saw Vaidehi sitting at the window, hair flying wildly though the room was shut. Later, his parents too heard her laughing eerily in the hallway. When confronted, she simply walked away, smiling. The next day, when Raghav's mother saw Vaidehi's feet clearly, she screamed. Her feet were reversed. Vaidehi smirked, placed a painfully tight grip on her shoulder, and asked, "Why are you screaming, mother-in-law?" Shocked, his mother fled to the neighbor's house. That night, Raghav pretended to sleep in the hall. He saw Vaidehi circling him, then cutting a few strands of his hair and leaving the house. Following her, he saw clearly her feet were indeed reversed. Horrified, he rushed back home and told his family everything. The next morning, he visited a priest, showing him wedding photos. The priest, upon seeing Vaidehi, declared, "She is no ordinary woman. She is not alive. To know the truth, you must go to her village." In her village, another priest revealed the truth. 20 years ago, a girl named Vaidehi lived here. She was accused of practicing black magic and capturing souls. The villagers burned her, but her body was never found. Raghav was stunned. He had unknowingly married a witch. The priest warned him, "You are now bound to her by a sacred vow. Unless she leaves you on her own or a powerful ritual is done, you cannot escape her." He was sent to a tantric occultist for help, but by the time they reached Raghav's house, it was on fire. Vaidehi had disappeared. The tantric said, "She must have known I was coming to break her bond with you. That's why she fled." Raghav then moved his family to another city, starting afresh. Since then, Vaidehi never returned. No one knows why she came into his life or where she vanished. Raghav visits temples frequently, stays in touch with priests, and avoids women altogether. Scared, unsure of who is real and who might be another witch,